It's time for today's Face-Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-Off on Fox Soul starts right now. In this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, a very interesting story and strange to me is coming out of Chicago, where a Chicago cop is suing the city of Chicago for his right to change his racial identity. Yusuf Muhammad, yes, Yusuf Muhammad wants to change from his paperwork with the city as an employee from being white. He's listed as Caucasian. He wants to now be listed as Egyptian, which is a nationality, not even a race, or African American. I would say to Brother Yusuf, bless your heart, brother. What the hell is really going on with you, sir, that you would have yourself labeled as a Caucasian? No matter how bad you might want to be Caucasian in your life, white folks are never going to accept you as a Caucasian, Yusuf Muhammad. Secondly, sir, you sure as hell don't want to be a black man. Quit faking like you really want to be a black man, Yusuf, because if you really got to be a black man one day for at least a week, you want to run back to your Caucasian identity, because you and I both know you don't want to be black in Chicago. This is a strange story, but I do believe maybe he should have the right to do it, because sexual groups who identify with many different sexual categories are allowed to change their gender. So he wants to know, why should I not be allowed to change my race if they can change their sexual gender?
I absolutely agree that he should, but possibly you should have taken the time, Quanell, to read this lawsuit, because it exposes a reality that you like to pretend is not true in America today, especially in big cities and in public employment and all types of employment. You have a man that is listed for some reason as a Caucasian. He's Middle Eastern. You argue all the time the Middle East doesn't exist, but he is complaining that because he is listed as a Caucasian, he has been repeatedly denied promotion based solely upon the color of his skin. And not even really the color of his skin, but just a demographic box that he's been checked. You say, well, you don't want to be black in Chicago. You most certainly want to be black in the Chicago PD. And in fact, you want to be black in almost every public employer, because if you're white, you're going to get passed over time and time and time again. There are different rules for white people advancing than there are for people of color. It's not fair. It is allegedly designed to make up for bigotry and oppression of the past, but you don't fix racism with new racism. Now he is there, he's saying, look, I should be able to change. Now his argument is, if you can change your gender, you should be able to change your racial identity, and damn it, he's right, period.
But Charles, here's my problem with this. He wants to identify as an African American, not because he thinks he's black, like a transgender person believes that they're now a female or a male. He wants to identify being black to solely get the benefits that should go to a black officer, not because he loves black culture. He thinks he's black. He identifies as being a black man. No, he wants to rob a black person of the right to get a benefit in a historical department where black officers were mistreated and discriminated against. He simply wants to do it to rob a black person of a benefit. So I say, hell no, he don't get to do that.
Well, of course
we fought for those benefits.
Of course.
Before Yusuf ever came to America, black officers in Chicago was fighting for equality. Now he wants to take our equality for himself.
There's a lot of things you assume. First of all, you're making a bunch of assumptions about how this person sees himself and views himself. You're making those assumptions because he's not black, and you're bigoted against non-black people.
No, he says he's a Caucasian first.
Hold on. You don't know if he said that or if some external person just classified him as that.
That's not what this lawsuit says.
Yeah, it is. It does.
It was a mistake. Somebody listed him as Caucasian by mistake.
Yes.
So then, why don't he just put on there, I'm Middle Eastern?
Okay.
Because that's what he is.
But the categories are white, Hispanic, black, and Asian.
And
right?
other.
Okay, so he should put other and
Middle
Eastern.
Middle Eastern.
But what you've just
Arab,
conceded.
or he could be Arab.
You just conceded that he wants, you know what he wants? He wants to not be discriminated against. And because he is listed as Caucasian,
well, then why would he want to become an African American on the paperwork then?
Because that would actually, instead of him being discriminated against as a Caucasian, he would get the benefit of promotion based not on merit,
that
but
him
on
and his
skin
people
color.
didn't fight for.
Okay. How do you know?
Oh, they did not fight for that in America. It was black police officers in Chicago
fought for bigotry,
fought for equality.
Okay,
who fought for the same rights as historical white officers had.
We all want equality.
Yusuf Muhammad and his Arab brothers and sisters did not fight for racial equality in America.
Do you want
equality from a black person
or a new inequality that favors you?
No. No.
Oh, no, let's
what
hear.
we want are past wrongs
Who's
to
we?
be corrected.
Who's
black people.
we?
Black people.
How do you speak for
what
all
we
black
want
people?
as black people are for the past wrongs to be corrected
So-
in the right way.
So how do you ever, at what point do we end discrimination? Right? Because you want discrimination. You're not knowing just that you want discrimination. You want segregation. You
No.
want oppression.
That's what
but
white
you
folks
just,
got.
Hey, look,
White folks
again,
got segregation
there
in
is
America.
Absolutely,
They got oppression still
there
takes
is
place in America.
Absolutely no doubt.
Equality still don't
that
exist for real for the masses of black people of color in this country.
There is absolutely no doubt that historically there was horrible racism in this country. But you want new racism, right?
No, I
so
don't.
What I'm asking you
Let's
is
correct
what
it the
point,
right
at
way.
what point do we get to equality, right?
I can tell you how.
I'll hold my breath.
This is how we do it. We got to first realize that today was built from yesterday, and tomorrow's been determined what we do today, Charles. We must correct it the right way.
How?
And Mr. Muhammad
How?
should not be allowed to rob the
Why not?
benefits to go to a black person.
Why not?
Because black folks fought, bled, and died for those benefits.
Okay, but what he's
not
I mean,
Mr. Muhammad's
so,
people.
So why is it?
And when I say Muhammad, I
Okay.
mean the Arab Muhammad, not the
Okay.
black African American Muhammad
I'm going
in
to try
America.
to make this as simple as you.
He wants to steal benefits.
Okay, he wants to be treated equally.
And he didn't mind being
right?
called the Caucasian
How do you
until
know?
he
You're
wanted to get some
making
benefits.
a lot of bigoted assumptions.
He didn't mind.
So if you go to Nigeria, people are very, very dark complected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go to the Netherlands, and people are very, very light complected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has everything to do with one thing: exposure to the sun and
that's a
ability
damn
to
lie.
survive. And if you
That's
go
a
to
lie.
the Middle East, the people in the Middle East look as if they
Ain't
took
nothing to
the
do with the
people
sun,
in
boss.
Nigeria and the people in Netherlands, they had sex, and they had kids that were the in-between color.
only race
I
of
know
people
you have
on
this,
earth
I know you have this
that carries the
racist
genetic
belief.
DNA for every
Oh,
racial
Jesus.
human being on the planet is the black woman.
Okay, I get
The
it.
black woman carries
I get it.
every
I get
DNA
it.
for every
You're
racial
a race
gene
supremacist.
on the planet Earth.
I get it.
The black
but
woman.
the truth is, we're all the same
Nah,
under
yeah, we
the
are,
skin.
because we're your
and
mothers and
what
your fathers.
you don't want is you
Because we
want
are
to-
your parents.
We? Who is we?
Black folks.
Yo, black
Black
folks
folks.
is a unity.
You
that's
white
all
folk could not
positive,
exist
and white
if it wasn't
folk
for the
are
black
evil.
woman.
That's what it is.
You should
How
thank the
about
black
we're a
woman for your
world of
existence.
individuals, and you're a racist.
Oh, come on now, for telling the truth.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
In an about damn time moment, the incredibly secular nation of France has finally had enough of radical Islamist terror. And they've decided, they passed legislation, they've actually enacted it, they've decided to start throwing out foreign nationals who come to that country to foment religious-based oppression and violence. They've thrown an imam out, a radical imam, Imam Mahoubi. He's a 53-year-old who has decided that the flag of France, the tricolor flag, is Satan's flag. And he is engaged in widespread efforts to seek to tear down that country. And we've seen it. We've seen it for years. We all remember the Charlie Hebdo massacre. We had a satire magazine known for pushing the boundaries of humor. With the religious text, posted a cartoon of Muhammad, and they had a slaughtering at their office. We've seen it time and time again in France, especially in the wake of October 7th. It's at the zenith with radicalized Islamist violence directed at Jewish people and French citizens. We've seen teachers be beheaded. We've seen it all craziness, and it's all been done under the banner of radical Islamists. Now, does that speak to all people of the Muslim faith? Absolutely not. That'd be a horrible thing to say, because there are a great number of peaceful, wonderful people who are Muslim. But there's also a significant number of radical Islamists. And the Western world needs to stop embracing people that have fled Sharia law dominated hellholes and then want to turn the Western world into those Sharia law dominated hellholes. And I say that about any radicalized religion. I don't care what religion it is, but the problem in the West, whether it's Europe or America, right now, I know you want to argue to the world this empty nonsense that it's whitey, is radical Islamists who want to change the secular West into a theocracy. You would support that. You've said it over and over again. But hey, it's about time for this country and France and all countries to take any foreign nationals white, brown, black, Middle Eastern, whatever, if they come and want to tear down the country, send them the hell back. And you know what? The ones that commit crimes too, send them the hell back.
Would you support that same law being implemented in America?
Oh, hell yeah.
Let me tell you why.
If it's
I
a foreign
disagree with
national
this.
trying to foment
And tell you why I
terrorism like
disagree
this
with
guy is?
He is accused of criticizing the French flag. He is also accused of criticizing and calling Jews the enemy who support the bombing and the genocide in Palestine. And so because